One topic of debate that has been going since last season, Eduardo Escobar and Brett Baty, who's going to play third, who's best suited to play third. Wardy, you are all in on Baty. State your case as to why you think he should be up in the big leagues right now with the Mets.
Oh, geez. How much time do you have, Michelle? But in all seriousness, I'll try to keep it short and simple. I mean, Eduardo, great personality. Love him. Was Mr. September last year. Was great heading into the postseason. I appreciate all that he did during that sample size. But as a whole, he really didn't do a whole lot for the Mets over a normal 162 last season. And now to start this year, Brett Baty in spring training absolutely balled out, took full advantage of every opportunity given to him while Escobar was playing for Team Venezuela. And doing so, he still starts the year in AAA, in which, coming back from his thumb injury the other day, had an RBI double, had a home run, leads the International League right now in slugging with 870, while Eduardo Escobar has a 100 average, a 350 OPS. No, not on base percentage, not slugging. I know we're only 13 games of the season, but I think that really is telling quite a bit of Eduardo and how the Mets shouldn't give him too much of a leash now when you don't just have any Joe Schmo of a third base prospect. You quite literally have the best in the game, not named Gunnar Henderson. And for all the people that say, oh, well, Baty isn't defensively ready, let's not act like Eduardo Escobar is the best thing since sliced bread at third base. He's solid. I got to give him credit. He's in the 98th percentile in outs above average to start the year at third base. Last year, however, was below the 10th percentile. He was anything but consistent at the defensive position. So honestly, with everything that I'm seeing from Eddie, I can't imagine a world where Baty would be any worse personally.
Will, you feel the opposite. Why do you think the Mets should stick with Eduardo for the time being?
Well, I will say, though, that Wardy has a great case there. And with Baty, there's no denying how good he can be at this level. And he's already dominated AAA in a very short amount of time, right? With Eduardo Escobar, he is going through a very rough stretch. There's obviously also no denying that part of it. He also was going through a rough stretch last year toward the end of April, early May, where he was in another 13 games, short sample, but it was another 100 batting average type of situation. And he busted out of it a little bit before then again slumping. He's a guy who runs hot and cold. So maybe, just maybe, there's a hot streak in him that's left. Perhaps the Mets are thinking that that's a possibility because you don't want to subtract from your depth. You don't want to lose a quality player in him if that's still part of it. And to the point about defense, so far he has been great. He has been very sturdy at third base, and he has not allowed his offensive woes to carry on with him toward the field. He's made every play that's gone his way, and he's a great presence in the clubhouse as well. I think we're getting to a point in the season where the small sample sizes, we could start to really see like what's there underneath those numbers. So for Eduardo Escobar, his hard hit rate right now, it's not very good. If it continues to go down that path, another, say, 2 weeks or so, then I think the Mets have a very strong decision to make there in regards to it's time to call up Brett Baty.
Well, you guys kind of stated your case for what you want, but yes or no, will Brett Baty be with the big club by the end of this road trip? And this is also a fan question. Do you think they should call up Brett Baty?
Ooh, do I think they should? Absolutely. Do I think that they will have called him up by the time the road trip is done? I can't say that I'm confident in agreeing with that. Just from how the Mets have operated so far this year, it seems like that they want to give Eddie a little bit more of a leash, and whether that's at least for the remainder of the month, that could be a sign. And who knows? Maybe Eddie does start to break out with the bat this West Coast trip.
Well,
this front office has made some tough decisions with guys who have struggled. We saw that way back last year with Robinson Cano even. They cut ties with him early in the season. It didn't take long for them to move on. This is a totally different set of circumstances here. And like I said earlier with Eduardo Escobar, there may be a hot streak left in him. We've seen it before. So do I think that they should call up Brett Baty? Probably. Do I think that they will by the end of the West Coast trip? I don't. I think that they will maintain the status quo for now and ride it out. Unless perhaps, the first few games of this road trip just goes that poorly for Eduardo Escobar or continue to go that poorly for him. Maybe then that changes my opinion. But for right now, I'm saying no.